Hey everybody, how are you doing? My name is Sway. Welcome to this video. Um, wherever you're watching this video, whichever one of my YouTube channels you're watching this on, if you're watching this on Facebook, if you are wherever you're watching it, it doesn't matter. You know me from somewhere. If you know me from one of my channels or platforms. All right, so I'm going to refrain from using the name of the current situation, the current sickness that's going on, in case there are any algorithms that will try to delete the video. I will try to stay on top of it to keep uploading if I have to. All right, so many of us in the community, it doesn't matter which community I'm talking to right now from my different channels. Um, Many of us in the community, we have a feeling that there's something else going on with the current epidemic, the current sickness that is happening. And it's not just a it's, not just a gut feeling anymore. There are a lot of doctors, scientists, experts, medical and scientific experts that are now stepping up to talk about what's really happening, what's really going on, why it's going on, etc. And this is no different. This is no different. A gentleman who speaks Spanish. I believe he's a doctor. He is a doctor. He's a medical expert himself, a scientific expert. Whatever you want to say. He posted a video. I caught it on my Facebook. I had to download. Not too many people speak Spanish, so I'm going to play through the video and translate to what he is saying. I will be pausing. I will be pausing after he says something, so um, you can get a full translation without me speaking over him. And let's just go to that video right now. All right, so I have this in full screen. So apparently he's either a medical expert or an investigator, and I'm just going to play through the video again. So
Esto ya es pandémico. La pandemia del SARS-CoV-2. No dije COVID-19, ese es el nombre.
He says the pandemic, as you say right here, the pandemic called SARS-CoV-2. It is not COVID-19, as many are saying. Now I'm going to repeat this. Right here. Okay. La verdad salió en la luz. The truth came to light. Lo que nos ocultaron del coronavirus tienes que oírlo. Basically, it says the truth came to light of what they told us about. Is we need to hear this again. He going back, starting from the beginning. He said, "Let's."
Esto ya es pandémico. La pandemia del SARS-CoV-2.
He says the pandemic. The guy before him who says this pandemic is serious, but anyway, he says the pandemic SARS-CoV-2.
No dije COVID-19. Ese es
He says, I didn't say COVID-19.
el nombre que el doctor Ted en las Naciones Unidas quiere que usemos.
He says, the COVID-19 is the name that the medical professionals, the doctors want the doctors to use in the United States. Okay, he says. So basically, what he's saying is that it is not COVID-19. It is SARS-CoV-2, and that the name that but SARS-CoV, COVID-19 is what the name that they want people to use.
Pues me niego y me rehúso como investigador a nombrar esta enfermedad pandémica que ha sido liberada de manera, creemos ya intencional, desde el Instituto de Virología de Wuhan en China, en la provincia de Hubei, desde diciembre pasado, con la intención de infectar no nada más a la población china, reducir a los más vulnerables.
Okay, so in short, what he's saying is that upon investigation of what's going on, that the SARS-CoV-2, it was that is spreading like wildfire, pretty much what he's saying, freely, spreading freely. I guess it's, since December, or what have you. What it is that it was created in a laboratory. It was created in a laboratory, and not just to affect people in China.
Bajar la población, obviamente, de aquellos que ya son un estorbo, bajarla desde el Instituto de Virología de Wuhan en China, en la provincia de Hubei, desde diciembre pasado, con la intención de infectar no nada más a la población china, reducir a los más vulnerables, bajar la población, obviamente, de aquellos que ya son un estorbo para el Estado socialista comunista, y de ahí pues que se expanda al mundo a ver cómo nos va a todos.
Okay, so in other words, he's saying it was created in Argentina, in a lab in Argentina, if I hear him correctly. It was created in a lab in Argentina, and not just to affect the population in China, but to affect those most vulnerable, like the elderly and children. But it's not just to affect those people, but also just to see how it spreads. And right here in Spanish is lo medio no ocultan la verdad sobre el coronavirus. Aquí conocerás la realidad. Mira este video completo, abre los ojos y prepárate. They're not telling us the truth of this epidemic. And it says, aquí conocerás here, get to know get to know the real facts here. It says and then it says, look at this whole video completely, open your eyes and prepare.
La realidad es que estamos viendo una situación de altísimo riesgo para todos los países ya.
Reality is that I'm sorry, let's repeat that again.
La realidad es que estamos viendo una situación de altísimo riesgo para todos los países ya.
It says the reality is we are seeing a situation. I mean, he's basically saying a real bad situation for like all the nations.
Así lo ha declarado la misma Organización Mundial de la Salud. Ahora esto es mucho peor. Es 10 veces.
Okay, so like the World Health people, they already declared that this is a bad thing, but it's actually way worse.
Es peor que el SARS.
It's worse than SARS, the original SARS virus. It's worse than that.
El SARS-CoV-2.
It's called SARS-CoV-2. SARS, S-A-R-S, CoV, C-O-V, the number 2.
Es decir, el SARS 2.0. Ese es el nombre real del virus.
That's the actual name of the virus. SARS-CoV-2.
No es COVID-19. Ese es.
It's not COVID-19. It's SARS-CoV-2.
Lo que están promoviendo para que tenga una mercadotecnia detrás de la promoción vaccinia que va a ser obligatoria probablemente para aquellos que viajan.
All right, so what it is that the COVID-19 thing is what they're trying to spread. So that they can basically they can sell the vaccines. I mean, the main so the SARS-CoV-2 is the actual disease, but but over here they're saying that it is COVID-19, and the reason why is so they can really sell uh, the the vaccine of COVID-19 and make it obligatory to everybody. You know, you're obligated to get it, especially for those that are traveling. Are traveling, and you know, and many of us in whatever community, you know, you're seeing me, that you know, that you know, we've heard things like that. We were told that this is a conspiracy. How could, you know, governments will never do that, and you know.
La vacuna, una vacuna experimental altamente peligrosa, desde luego va a ser obligatoria.
He says this will be a vaccine, a shot. It is very experimental. That's very dangerous. That they're gonna make it obligatory for everybody to take it. You know, it's come on now. This is not the first time we've heard of things like this happening. You know, and right now he's this is a an article that's being shown that said the Wuhan Sea is from lab per biochem-weapon. Is, you know, it's crazy.
El coronavirus de Wuhan, ¿sí? Viene, ¿ok? De un laboratorio, y eso se lo dijo un experto en armamento biológico.
All right, so a biochem expert says that the sea epidemic is from a lab. That's what he's saying.
Lógico y químico. Miles Guo liberó que uno de los expertos de armamento.
It says Miles Guo disclosed that the most famous biochemical weapon lab
bioquímico más famosos en el mundo le dijo que el coronavirus de Wuhan vino de un
that the epidemic, the virus from Wuhan, came from a lab.
Laboratorio en Wuhan. Tómala.
It came from, see, and this is the thing. I was having a discussion with somebody about it, that that when it comes, you know, over there in China and many other places in the world, there's a lot of biochemical weapons um, being developed for, and you know, and for whatever reason, they're gonna develop it to kill vulnerable people and what have you. And I've been saying this for a lot of years to a lot of, you know, and not online, you know, this is not on YouTube or you know, face-to-face conversations with people. I've been telling people things like that. They're calling me crazy, and there's more and more evidence to show that it's happening. Okay, everybody, as I'm editing this to make sure that you get as much information as possible, I keep getting these news updates from and emails and things like that. Okay, everything that is in this video, from the original video in Spanish to the news article by Miles Guo, as you can see on screen. I'm going to be putting these links, all of these links, into the description box, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook or wherever I place this. But this news article, again, LifeSite News, I'm going to get into it real quick. It says, China expert Chinese regime falsely telling Communist Party members the C virus is U.S. bioweapon. Stephen Mosher is the founder and president of the Population Research Institute. He says the Chinese Communist Party is lying about the origins of the C virus. Okay. March 2012, 2020. March 12th, 2020, LifeSite News. The C virus has been classified by the World Health Organization as a pandemic. To understand exactly what is going on with it. I invited China expert Stephen Mosher on my podcast, the John Henry Weston Show. There's going to be a link right here in this page, so the link to this article will lead you to all of that. To discuss the latest developments, he reveals to me that communications from China indicate that the Chinese Communist Party is telling its 94 million party members that the virus really came from the United States. Wow, that's crazy. And we're already finding out that it is a bioweapon, but it wasn't formed here. So I'm going to play this quick video.
We now get reports that the Chinese Communist Party is telling its 94 million party members that the virus really came from the United States, and it was carried over to China in late October by U.S. military athletes from the U.S. Army, Navy, and Air Force who were participating in the military games, which is kind of an Olympics for the world's military. They send over their best athletes, which was held where? In Wuhan, China, from October 17th through the 20th. So they've said basically that it's a U.S. bioweapon that was released in China by these U.S. Army athletes who came over and spread it. Now, that's absolutely false, of course. We don't do that kind of thing. But I think it's kind of, John Henry, a tacit admission that, yeah, maybe it was. Maybe we were working on genetically tinkering with this thing and it accidentally got away. After all, they now say it's a bioweapon. They just don't say it's theirs. They say it's ours.
All right, so from this video that you just saw, yeah, again, it's been recognized as a bioweapon. Question is who's creating it, you know? And again, going back to the original video of being the SARS-CoV-2, that it's not the actual C virus. It's crazy. Everybody's covering it, basically saying, hey, look, this is a bioweapon. Now the Chinese regime is saying this comes from the U.S. And we already know that China has been doing a lot of, the Chinese government, has been doing a lot of evil things to their people. The Chinese government has been doing a lot of evil things to their people. And, I don't talk about things on my channels. I don't. But I talk to people face to face, and people that have known me for years, for years, I've been talking face to face to them, telling them, hey, look, this crap is going on here, 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 and here. People are calling me crazy. And now with all of this revelation being brought out that China is doing all this evil stuff and what have you, now they're trying to ask me how do I know and whatever, but outside of how I know, it's now some people, they're even now bringing up these articles and videos and whatever, they're still going to call me crazy. They're still going to say this, that, and the other and whatever. I don't have an agenda. I'm just trying to put out truth out there because people are worrying about a whole bunch of things and whatever. And, uh, you know, if anything, this pandemic or epidemic or whatever you want to call it is driving people nuts. I'm seeing it here in my in the state where I live here in the United States, where where people are going crazy. And here's the crazy thing about it, though. If people don't buy up everything as soon as possible, we already know that corporate America that runs these stores and what have you, they're going to start price gouging everything, from food, toilet paper, whatever. But people are buying the wrong things but that's just for another video. I just trying to, maybe I'll talk about it in a bit. Anyway, it says right here, it says right here, Mosher is an internationally recognized expert on the Chinese regime, having become the first American social scientist to visit mainland China ever in 1979. The author of multiple books on China, Mosher's most recent publication is the best-selling Bully of Asia, Why China's Dream is the New Threat to World Order. He is also the founder and president of the Population Research Institute, where he fights population control programs across the world. Today's special episode of the John Henry Weston Show, Moshe details the claims being falsely made by the Communist Party, which employ clever and convincing argumentation. So Communist Party members blame the U.S. rather than the Chinese government's incompetence or worse for the epidemic. All right, so as I said in the video, they claim that the virus was carried over to China in late October by U.S. military athletes and what have you. You know, the whole show is right here. It's going to be linked into this. I suggest you watch it. Again, the links to this article will be in the description box. I'm just putting out the information. Truth is, right now, everybody's rushing to the stores to buy everything. Now, I've been saying for years, person to person, and many people have been on YouTube saying for years, we need to create our own mini stockpiles for emergencies. Even past presidents, President Obama said the same thing. You never know what's gonna happen. But people don't listen, so you end up people going to the stores in a panic last minute, try to buy everything that they can, and at this point, you'll see a lot of violence, especially when they're fighting over the last thing of toilet paper, the last can of dog food, or the last can of spaghetti, or whatever. And right now, even in New York, and if anybody's paying attention to the news, New York is they're sending in they're sending in they have a state of emergency. They're sending in the National Guard. Massachusetts is now in a state of emergency. A lot of other states are going to be in the state, and what's going to be next is probably going to be martial law. It's probably going to be martial law, period.
Confirmado. El Partido Comunista Chino está propagando información engañosa en línea, ¿sí? Al promover videos donde se comen murciélagos, etc. El coronavirus de Wuhan no viene de animales ni de la naturaleza, sino de un laboratorio.
All right, so what he's saying is that, okay, now here's the thing. The actual C virus, I was told that it, see, and for those of you that hear about the conspiracy about the Lysol and things like that, how it says that it protects against this, that, and the other, right, including this one. Apparently there is a C virus that it is a natural, but it only affects a certain animal. I think it was bats or something like that. But what he's saying is that the current one that is causing this epidemic, it's not natural. It is not natural at all. This is man-made in a laboratory. All right, everybody. So in the rest of the video, he's pretty much just repeating himself, the same thing, the same thing. I mean, the fact is that he was, as he's saying, is that he it was this epidemic was created to kill a lot of people. It is a weapon. It is a weapon to kill a lot of people. So what I'm gonna do in the graphics, as you see, look up SARS-CoV-2. SARS-CoV-2. That is the name of the actual virus that is happening, not the C one or COVID 12, 19, whatever. It's SARS-CoV-2. Okay, and that is there's a lot more information on it. In the rest of the video, he's pretty much just repeating himself. If there's any new information coming from these sources, I will put up another video. So hopefully we can all, do what we got to do. So until the next video, just please stay safe. Wash your hands. We should be washing your hands anyway, but stay safe. Wash your hands. Don't do anything that you shouldn't be doing. Okay? I love you all. Peace.